Hey Hawks fans, welcome back to the channel Hawks Report Card. We've got a 64-point win over Carlton to review. First off, what an unbelievable night weather-wise. Lucky enough for Evie and I, we arrived at the ground probably 40 minutes before the game, and from then on it just did not stop raining until probably halfway through the third quarter, and it was unbelievable scenes. Like, you virtually couldn't sit down probably the first 40 rows because of the rain, and just did not let up. Would have been it was quite an unusual night. And yeah, for Hawthorn to break 100 in them sort of conditions is a pretty good effort. You can see Carlton there, pretty low score, 6-3, only 9 shots a goal. They missed a couple. They actually didn't score from a couple of close in the first half when it was really hard to just even kick the ball with that wind and the rain. But yeah, to keep them to 39 is pretty good, and to break 100 it's even better, I think. Moving on. So one of the things was Ollie Greaves having his first game. I mean, you're always going to remember your first game, but he'll definitely remember that for another reason. Obviously, that weather, like he would. Not very often you get to play in weather like that, and to play on the MCG, would have been, the crowd would have been massive for the 70,000, but most of them were packed up in the behind closed doors so they could bear it. It was quite cold as well. I think on my phone at one stage it said it feels like 3 degrees. So with the wind, the rain, and the freezing cold conditions, Ollie will remember that for a long time. 70,000, an unbelievable crowd. I mean, Carlton have really got their backs up at the moment, and their faithful are getting behind them. And for them to have a home game, and obviously Hawthorn had a replacement game, but to get 70,000, I wasn't overly sure of the weather going in, but to get 70,000 to a night like that is just, credit to Carlton. I think they're really getting behind their team again. Major stats differential. Hawthorn had a lot of the ball. They had 57 more disposals. Obviously, 25 more kicks and the handballs. They out tackled us, probably because we had the ball a little bit more than them. The marks were dead even. Hit outs. Lloyd Meek dominated. It's his first crack. I know he went up against Max Gawn last week, but you can't really count that. But he went up against a first gamer who started quite well for Carlton. But yeah, Lloyd, the longer the game went, Lloyd Meek just really dominated. I think it's his best game for probably 2 years for Hawthorn. So he helped lead the clearances 12 by 12, and I'm pretty sure he got a fair few of them. We were -5 in the free kicks. Early, I think it was like 9-3, and so I think we only got another 6 free kicks in the last 3 quarters. But the inside 50s, we won that count by 12, and the contested possession 24 and uncontested 35. Hawthorn usually win that. Moving on to the first player, Harry Morrison, kicked a goal. 21 disposals, a pretty good effort for, he matched out most of our midfielders there. 16 kicks. He snuck down, kick a goal. Sort of Ollie Greaves might have kicked his goal if Harry wasn't there. But yeah, he got 2 6.5s and a 6 from Evie. Moving on to Mitch Lewis, struggled early, especially that first quarter. He was contesting but just couldn't mark it, and he ended up only taking the 2 marks, but he linked up a lot. He was the one who sort of, you look at that, 22 disposals, quite a lot for him. He hit the post with his first shot at goal. Probably should have been an easy goal from there, but them conditions, you just never know. And then he kicked the other goal when he got that free kick. But he didn't overly dominate, but in the air, obviously. But yeah, to get 22 disposals for a centre forward is pretty good. So he got 2 6.5s, and Evie gave him a 5. John Newcomb, you thought these conditions were ideal for him, but yeah, at half time he was very quiet. He sort of hit back in the second half a little bit, but not overly. 18 disposals for Jai in them conditions. You think he'd just lap it up, but yeah, only having the 7 kicks. I mean, his ratio of handball to kicks this year has been really down. And that's why his metres gained is 257. And his efficiency, I mean, everyone's efficiency was down. That was that first half. If you got the ball, it was nearly impossible to hit a target. Evie gave him a 6.5, and the guest Lily gave him a 6.5, and I gave him a 6. Jarman Impey, is good to have him back. He's a bit scratchy early. Didn't adapt to the conditions as well as, probably still tried to do a bit of flashy stuff, but after that he just buckled down and, didn't spend overly a lot of amount of time on the ground, not like he usually does. He's still got his 20 disposals, 315 metres gained. That's still a really good game for Jarman. He's just working his way back in after having a month out. Evie gave him a 6.5, same as Lily the Guest, and I gave him a 6. James Sicily, there wasn't much to do. So he had the 15 disposals. He had a shot at goal and put it on the full, but 315 metres gained. There was just not much for him to do. So there's not much to talk about for James Sicily. So I and Lily gave him 5s and even gave him a little bit higher, a 5.5. Dylan Moore, competitive game. He did a lot of smothers for Dylan. Like, he got right in there. You can see he had the 5 tackles and numerous number of smothers. Like, they were all the midfielders. Him and Connor McDonald and that were at one stage there. People were just getting it and kicking it, and there was obviously a crowd of people and just kicking into them. But they really put the pressure on him and Connor, and they were really good. The smothers, and obviously Dylan kicking 2 goals. He got the great assist from Will Day, kick his first one. And so we're going to rate him. All 3 of us gave him 7.5. It's a pretty good game when your small forward can get 20 and kick 2. So hopefully he can continue that form. He's been a little bit up and down this season, Dylan. So hopefully he can go get good against the Tigers. Connor McDonald just spoke about the in-close stuff. I mean, he got 31 disposals, only got 200 metres gained. But when it was really wet, he was in there doing them little kicks forward and smothers and that. You can see the 7 tackles, really good effort. He got an AFL score of 114. So, Evie gave him an 8, and the other 2, we gave him 8.5s. A really good game from Connor. Carl Amon, very quiet for him, and obviously we hear the news that he's probably having surgery, so for him to have 12 disposals in a game of footy, that's pretty low. He could probably do that every and a half of footy. And look, you can see he wasn't linking up. No, just the 1 mark. Very hard in the first half, like I said. But 2 tackles, 100 metres gained for Carl. That's 2 kicks for him. So for him to only get the 104 metres gained is unheard of. So really, 2 5s and a 4.5, probably could have got a little bit lower there. Will Day, very competitive again. 24 disposals, some great assists. That one to Dylan Moore and then the one to Matt Hill. You won't see better handballs than that, especially in slippery, wet conditions. Beautiful. That one to Matt Hill was a really sublime piece of footy from Will Day. He had 16 kicks. He ended up kicking a goal. So 468 metres gained is pretty good from 16 kicks. You can see the efficiency was down the 37, but that was probably from them little snap kicks out of the congestion in the first half. Got an AFL score of 102. So Evie gave him an 8, Evie's favourite player. So she's always going to mark him up a little bit. And efficiently gave him 2 7.5s. Blake Hardwick. Now, this was one guy who did love the conditions. He thrived. Early, he was the one player that the ball went back, he was going to mark it or spoil it and then get it. And, to have 25 disposals and 21 kicks, 669 metres gained. I mean, he really picked up the slack from Jarman Impey and Carl Amon. Like, together they've probably got what they usually do because of how good Blake was. He's very hard to get past. I mean, if you watch the replay, Carlton sort of just kicked the ball and he'd be the last man there. And he'd get back and get it. I think this is the first time Blake Hardwick's ever gotten Hawthorn's top 3 running, especially this season anyway, since we've been covering it. But yeah, Blake Hardwick was our equal with Dylan Moore with 14.5 kilometres, and it was a great effort from Blake Hardwick to do that much running and still have good impact going the other way. Massimo Denver's a little bit quiet. He kicked the point. He had his shot at goal this time, but got the 19 disposals, almost cracked the 20. Only 327 metres gained. So usually 10 of his kicks is around the 500 metre mark. So you could see it was really tough conditions. Still effective there. Efficiency was 73. But if he'd kicked that goal, it would really bump his score up a little bit, I suppose. But Evie gave him a 6.5 and the other 2 6s. Lloyd Meek, like I said earlier, dominated that young fella. Especially after half-time, when it dried up, Lloyd Meek was really getting involved. And he look at that, 10 tackles. He had his shot at goal, couldn't quite make the distance. But, it's pretty hard to, to judge him against a first gamer because Max pretty much gave it to him the week before, but he bounced back. That's what you want. You want a response. He did that, and he got 3 8s there. Marbiol Chol, the one thing that about Marbiol, everyone was freezing cold, but when he took that mark, everyone was up and about and talking about it for the next 5 minutes. That they were so glad they were there to witness it. It was a fantastic mark, especially the conditions. Like he just grabbed, it wasn't like a juggling mark. He just went up, bang, and he got it right in the goal square. So his kicking was, you can see there, the 1-3, it was off a bit, so he wasn't missing from 1 metre out. Fantastic individual performance there. So we're marking him up a little bit because of that entertainment factor. You're probably looking at 6s, but that was just fantastic. So Evie gave him a 7, and the other two 7.5s, and fantastic mark, Marbiol Chol. There's the picture of it, like in wet conditions, beautiful grab. I mean, they don't tell you to mark like that, but he does, and usually the hands, it'll just slip, but there was a one grabber, and over he went. It's a great photo, huh? Jack Gunston said Jack's back. Yep, he got 2 free kicks for his 2 goals, for 2 of his goals, but still he had to finish. Like that was pouring rain, that snap around the corner. That was a fantastic goal from Jack. It wasn't as close to goal as you think. It's probably 25 metres out. Like that, that wind was just burling in there and saves the rain. The rain was just coming in sideways. For him to snap that around, just straight through the middle, it was. Umpire virtually didn't move. Fantastic goal. Just kept the pressure when Hawthorn could just get forward and kick a goal. And like it was only 20 points at one stage, but that in that weather, that was looked a long way off. And for Jack to have 20 disposals is a fair effort and get 452 metres gained. I mean, we spoke about Jai Newcomb and that earlier. Like that's a midfielder's night that night. 452 metres gained, 17 kicks. So a fantastic game by Jack. And probably could have kicked the 5. He had a couple of different shots in that last quarter, but he got 3 7s anyway. So hopefully, dry conditions against Richmond, he should fare well, I think. Noah Mraz, yep, another good game for him, especially early when it was competitive, really competitive. He's quite combative. You can see he'll take the marks, but he'll really spoil it. When he does, he hits it with conviction. He's a really good young player. He's only 20 years old. He's nearly 200 centimetres tall. He's quite a big kid. You can see he plays with a smile on his face. He loves footy. And, yeah, hopefully Hawthorn keep him in there for a little while. Maybe rest a couple of the other guys and keep him in there. I think he's quite adaptable too. He can play on a big, maybe not so much a small, but, yeah, I think he's doing really well. And, yeah, he's another one, like his second game, his first game at the G. He'll remember that forever, that rain. Josh Ward, very, very good again. Sort of last week he hit the scoreboard twice, and this week he's hit it again. Like so, he hadn't kicked a goal all year. Now it's back-to-back weeks he's kicked goals. That's what we want our midfielders to help out. 23 disposals, really good. He's quite clean. He was quite really, really good. Not as much fumbling, and he got these 449 metres gained. So really, he had his moments like when Sam Walsh would get his clearances and that. But yeah, I think Sam Walsh probably had 13, 14 more disposals than him, but I think Josh was just quite as impactful with his 23. So really good game. He got 3 8s across the board there from Josh. Moving on to Will McCabe. I mean, these conditions weren't made for a big guy like him, but you can see there he got his 10 disposals. A lot of them in the last quarter. He linked up a little bit for them. It's unusual him playing on the wing. And, yeah, his game time was probably down a bit with, like Ollie Greaves and that. They didn't get as much as you would usually get. But, yeah, Evie gave him a 3. I think that's a bit rough. But so I went a 5 and Lily went 4.5. But, yeah, it'd be interesting with all the big names meant to be 3 back this week. So he's probably not going to hold his spot. So, yeah, at least he's having a crack. Cam McKenzie, a little bit down. Only had the 21 disposals. When it dried up, you really noticed him because he was a bit fumbly when it was raining and... but yeah, when it fined up and dried up a little bit, you could see he's fleet of foot and he's quite good at changing directions and that. He's very hard to catch. So really quite competitive game. Yeah, 3 tackles, didn't take a mark, didn't hit the scoreboard, but got 300 metres gained. So pretty even game there from, and Evie gave him a 6, so did Lily, and I gave him a 5.5. Jack Ginnivan kicked our first 3 goals. And, you know, at half, when he kicked the 3rd goal, you think that could be, that feels like enough, you know, because it just didn't look like anyone could kick a goal. He ended up getting the 25 disposals, um, and I probably think he had 15 or 16 at half time. So he bounced back from that real quiet first half against Melbourne where he only had 2 or 3. So that's what we wanted, a really response. You can see the metres gained weren't as much, but he did spend a lot of time forward, and he's quite clever around the goal. So really good game. I mean, anyone to kick 3 goals in them conditions is quite good, and you can see the AFL score was quite high for him for 100, especially with not many tackles and not many marks, but high impact. So Evie gave him an 8, and the other 2 gave him an 8.5. Ollie Greaves, really, it's hard to tell because of that weather, and he was in the forward line, but I think the longer it went and when it dried up, you could see his ball handling was quite good. He was very not fumbly for a first gamer, so I think he keeps his place this week and have another crack at the G. Hopefully, it's a little bit drier. It's going to be a day game, so he's going to have both ends of a beautiful, hopefully a nice sunny Sunday and he had a real cold, freezing cold night game. So hopefully he'll have another go at it. And you could see he was the one who kicked. He had that shot from outside 50. It was, fairly decent kick. He was probably only 2 metres short of kicking a goal, the one that Marbiel got the mark. But yeah, you can see it's quite unusual that he was talked about for the whole season last year about being a top 10 pick, top 20 pick at least. He goes all the way through to the rookie draft, and Hawthorn getting with pick 12 or 13. And you can just see how could everyone just pass on him? It's like he nearly virtually didn't get drafted, but you can see he's a good enough footballer to be playing AFL. So hopefully we give him another go this week. Tom Barrass, Harry Mackay didn't have a shot at goal, but you can see Tom, he only had the 8 disposals, 2 marks. He did a lot of spoiling intercepts, so it was really good. Harry Mackay sort of just ended up having to go right up the ground and tried to double back, but it just didn't work, and Tom pretty much had his measure. So it was another great game. He's a great defender. Hawthorn, very lucky. People were a little bit suspect about him when he came, but I'm pretty sure anyone who's watched him this year, he's been a great player for us. Matt Hill, good to see him get his first goal. Probably lost his spot this week because of the whiz. Probably going to lose it anyway. I think Ollie's going to play in front of him. You can see there just the 5 disposals, and I'm pretty sure he didn't have any at half time. So to come out and kick 2 goals, he's got a special memory there. Like that was a great moment on the G to kick a goal. And yeah, it's hard to talk about much else of his game there, but he got the 2 goals. The second one was a really good goal as well. But he should be thanking Will Day for that first one. That was unbelievable, that handball. Bailey McDonald, so he was our Hawthorn's furthest. He ran 15 Ks. He clocked up the most Ks because a lot of time Carlton, especially in the first half, they all got drawn into Hawthorn's forward line. So when the ball went back out, everyone sprinted up the ground. So that's probably him and Blake Hardwick got their Ks up that way. But he's covering the ground. He doesn't look out of place, but when you look at his stats, you think, geez, that's not much. Like, how can he be playing? But yeah, I think he's sort of, especially with Carl Lomar going out, I think he might play further up the ground a little bit, and hopefully he can link up. And everyone's seen how fast he is. I think he's going to keep his spot for a little while yet. So there's the top runners there. Bailey McDonald, he got the 15 Ks. Dylan Moore, 14.5. And Blake Hardwick, like I said, I think that's the first time Blake's ever been in our top thing. Lily's top 3. She went Jack Ginnivan 3, Connor McDonald 2, Josh Ward 1, and gave a special mention to Blake Hardwick. I've gone for Blake Hardwick on top. I just thought early when Carlton were pressing, he was the one man who kept stopping and counter-attacking as well. Like his long kicks were really good in that weather. Lloyd Meek, I gave him 2 because he doesn't get talked about much, and I think that's a pretty good game. Jack Ginnivan, obviously the 3 goals, very important, especially early. You didn't want Carlton getting in front by them 2 goals, especially in them conditions. But yeah, he finished well. And Josh Ward, I thought he was really good. I think the longer the game went, the better he was going to be. There it is. And so this week we've got Richmond at the MCG. So I think it's a 1 o'clock game, Sunday. So hopefully, I haven't checked the weather, but hopefully it's a bit drier for us Hawks fans to get there, get along to the game. Richmond's crowds have been a little bit down this year, so hopefully they pick up and we can get a decent crowd there, create a bit of an atmosphere. So that's the end of the video. Evie hasn't done any other slides. So, so I'd just like to thank you for support. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know what you think about who your top 3 was. And we'll look forward to the Richmond game and reviewing it next week. Thank you very much.